What's up, FTCs? We're going to start another little segment called Prediction Bingo for all the PLEs coming up.
And what that means for the FTCs is we will be creating new bingo cards for every PLE so you guys can play too.
BINGO. Let's go. What up, FTCs? Back like we never left. Coming in with another Raw Results episode, April 28th. And hey, we're going to kick it off like trying to figure out what's going on with this Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman little stint. But then we get something that we should have expected from the beginning. Sami Zayn comes out. Devin, what do you think about that before we get to talking on that?
It's our favorite virtue signaler.
That's
Sami
like
Zayn. Guys, this is wrong.
That's like what he does. Like, why? Okay, so the Bloodline comes around. No, guys, and then he joins them. The new Bloodline comes around, and he like wants to fight against them. Like the Judgment Day when they first started, he wanted to go against them. Now Seth Rollins is trying to start a thing. They go through a whole segment. Seth Rollins is pretty much like, well, I don't want you to get hurt, and if you're not going to be with me, you're going to be against me, so you're going to be a target pretty much. So he's saying that like, regardless if Sammy likes it or not, he can pull some strings. Paul Heyman can pull some strings. They can get him a number one contender for the WWE Universal title at
Backlash.
After Backlash. Like after Randy Orton or John Cena wins, Sami Zayn would have a number one contender spot. And I mean, if I was Sammy, I would have took that. Because
I would have taken that too, because you go to SmackDown and then you're instantly in line for a shot at the big one. What do you have to lose?
You're over Solo and all these guys you fought so hard against the last few years. Plus, you have like an opportunity to show if you're actually going to pull off the big one or not. But you chose to do what you do. So I mean, like he confronts Braun Breaker about looking at him, and Seth Rollins has to hold him back. He's like, look, man, I'm gonna give you another chance. I'm gonna give you to the end of the night. Give me your answer then. So, FTCs will wait to the end of the episode to find out what Sammy's answer is, but y'all probably know what it is.
Up next, Rhea Ripley defeats Roxanne Perez via disqualification.
And I think this is cool, bro, because like I feel like them doing the thing with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley and all them, like I think it's just trying to get Roxanne Perez, Stephanie Vakir, and Julia on the main roster. And like since the last episode we did talking about them, I went back and did my NXT research, and them girls deserve it. They would make a good addition to the women's roster, and hell, we need it because a lot of women are hurt right now. Asuka, Kairi Sane, a lot of the good ones are hurt right now. So it just takes up the slack, like now the storylines have more play in them, you know what I mean? So like I'm all for getting these new girls up there and ready to play.
I think all they'll do is probably mash all of these guys together in like a big tag match and put it at a PLE down the road.
Definitely probably won't be like the four horsewomen, but I feel like it might be a little bit similar. They're gonna at least take the women's division over by storm out of nowhere.
There's definitely some potential.
Jey Uso and Logan Paul have a little segment, and pretty much like Logan Paul's just telling him like, what are you gonna do, crash out on me, like da all this and that, and then like Jey Uso says like, well, I'm not gonna take that from a YouTuber, and then he super kicks the piss out of him.
Yeah, just basically looks like Logan Paul wants a shot at the world title. So I mean, it looks like we might be getting that.
And whether we like it or not as wrestling fans, like is the work that Logan Paul's put in, like, I mean, I hate to say it, but he deserves it. And y'all can't forget that like his third match was a WWE title match against Roman Reigns, so you can't be mad at it now, Like he's did all this work, so like, just give him credit where it's due. No, we don't like him, but we're not supposed to,
The War Raiders defeat Finn Balor and JD McDonough
due to a distraction from Penta. Penta's just doing that eye for eye thing. He's a luchador.
Just the way it goes.
For sure. JD McDonough looked good in his first match back, though. I'll give him that. And Hell, I thought Finn Balor and JD McDonough was gonna win because I thought like I'm pretty sure like whoever won that was number one contenders because they had like the New Day out there on commentary and everything. So looks like the War Raiders are gonna get a chance to get their titles back, maybe. Becky Lynch comes out and she's pretty much doing her the man stint, you know. And then Lyra comes out and they're talking about everything. And then like pretty much like Lyra goes to like roast Becky Lynch and she tells her she's like, "Well, I don't want to be like Becky Lynch anymore." She's like, "I want to be the best Lyra Valkyria." And then she goes on proceeds to like put her title on the line at Backlash against Becky Lynch. And then Becky Lynch beats her up again. So we know what's coming out of this. And if Lyra does end up winning at Backlash, hey, she beat the man.
Dare I say that I was entertained by Becky Lynch on Raw? Dare I say that? I think her versus Lyra will be a good match. And that's actually up at Backlash. I think I'm going to be excited when that one's about to start.
It's going to definitely be one of the more underrated matches on the card, but I feel like it will have potential because they're both good athletes. That's what everybody forgets at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Plus, they're both Irish, so they're going to fight. It's going to be like when Sheamus and
I'm
Cesaro
just a sucker for the history in between them. So
next up, though, we had the NXT Women's Champion Stephanie Vaquer defeat Ivy Nile. And to me, dude, Ivy Nile actually looked really good in this match against Stephanie, but I think that they've had like previous matches on NXT and stuff, so like their chemistry's there, you know what I mean? And maybe that's all Ivy Nile needs to get to the next level anyway, is somebody she can have some chemistry with in the ring.
I don't think she's a bad competitor at all. Stephanie Vaquer, from what I've seen, she's pretty good so far.
And they're talking about putting like she's one of the other ones that they're talking about putting on the main roster, and I think that's huge for her because I mean she was the like I think first or second ever NXT Women's double champ.
Oh, the first one was Mandy Rose, but they're not going to claim that.
Yeah, so she's technically the first, but you know that's a big statement, you know, coming to the main roster that quick. You know, like there's a lot of girls in NXT that've been there for years, you know, and they're still just not ready yet for the main roster. So, obviously she's doing something right, you know.
Pat McAfee stands up for his best friend Michael Cole, and he takes a stand for all the little guys out there against the bullies.
Yep, and he's actually called Gunther out for a match.
He's an idiot.
He's gonna lose.
He's a brave idiot.
But that's how I go down fighting too, man. If somebody attacked my best friend Devin Steele right here, you know what I mean? Like, I'd have to defend him. I hope you do the same for me. And, like, I feel Pat McAfee. You got to do what you got to do as a man. You know, you might get your ass beat doing it, but hell, you're standing up for somebody you care about.
Sometimes you just got to take a beating for a good reason.
But it's set in stone. Nick Aldis came out. Adam Pearce was, like, sick or something. I don't know where Adam Pearce was at, but Nick Aldis comes out and he makes it official. Like, it's going to happen at Backlash, so R.I.P. Pat McAfee. Love you, buddy, but maybe it's not worth it, but I see what you're doing. I feel you. I feel you.
Guys, in the main event, Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn take the ring, and we get Sami Zayn's answer, which is, of course, "No, get away, you're evil.
Why would I take that opportunity? All you do is hurt your friends.
I don't want to be the #1 contender. I want to sit on Raw and do nothing.
I will not be threatened.
I don't want to be in the mid-card."
And then, like, so pretty much, like, Seth Rollins just sicks the dog Braun Breaker on them. They get into a match, and then, like, it gets stopped because, like, Braun Breaker just kept looking at Seth Rollins, and he kept just shaking his head, yeah, and he was, like, spearing him over and over again. Ate, like, what, 3-4 spears? And then at the end, he, like, goes over there and he slaps Braun Breaker in the face. He's like, "Some people like him just deserve this." And he turns around and curb stomps him. I was like, okay. So, like, to me, it feels like we're going back to the revolutionary type Seth Rollins, you know? But it's like, at the same time, like there's a purpose for all this, and I'm all for it.
I really do feel like the deep heel Seth Rollins Like, I think that's when he's the best. Especially, like, it reminds me of the Authority Seth Rollins when he was facing Sting and stuff. And that's when he was my favorite.
But I'm willing to see what's up next for this. It seems very interesting. Something else I want to cover though, other sports news and entertainment, but it's still in this. Rusev had a little cameo on Raw, and it was good. He's pretty much saying that he's gonna go around and everybody that's wasting their purpose, their talent, and like just doing the goofy stuff they're doing, he's gonna crush them, and he doesn't need somebody to tell him to crush. He's gonna do it on his own.
Yeah, he's gonna fix them and mold them in his own way through pain.
And that's a bold statement. It's like that's a rough character right
Rusev's
there.
playing God a little bit.
With the mid carders, he's like, come to me and I'll fix you, and he's gonna crush them. But what's next for the Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman group? Is somebody next?
Guys, who's gonna be the #1 contender for the New Day's World Tag Team Championships?
And is the man gonna beat Lyra Valkyria for this women's IC title?
Catch us in the next episode to find out. And that's about it for this episode.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe.
As for the fan connection, we're out of here.